Hi, I'm Emma. I'm going to be your physical therapist today. How are you?
Good, how are you?
All right. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do an ice massage on yourself today. Since you've never done any ice massage before, I'm going to need to make sure that you can describe how to do the application of this modality and watch you perform it correctly before I'm comfortable that you can perform it at home alone.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you can follow and understand the directions I give you. I also need to make sure that you can tell me in your own words the sensory stages you should move through during this treatment, as well as setting up of the treatment and when you should stop. You also need to be able to understand the reasons for doing this treatment and be able to repeat them back to me.
Okay.
I am going to teach you how to perform this massage to your injured knee. After I instruct you on how this therapy should be applied, I'm going to need you to be able to demonstrate that you can do the procedure correctly and to the level of my satisfaction. All right, so I'm going to teach you an ice massage because at 2 weeks post-op you still seem to have a lot of residual swelling and pain in your knee, and this ice massage is going to help you reduce your swelling and reduce your pain. It's also going to help relax your muscles, which will help also decrease your pain, and it'll help you increase your knee range of motion when it comes to coming back to walking and eventually basketball. So now I want to make sure that you understand everything I told you, and please tell me what I'm going to teach you and why it's important to teach you that.
So you're going to teach me to do an ice massage at home because at 2 weeks post-op I'm going to need to do things to decrease my swelling and my pain. And eventually, with this and other treatments, it's going to help me get back to doing the things I want to do, like walking and playing basketball.
All right, sounds good. All right, so in your evaluation, we tested your hot and cold sensation, and it was intact bilaterally. And I asked about any possible contraindications or precautions, and you were clear for treatment. So now we're ready for the instructions to begin. When you're doing this at home, you want to make sure that you're sitting down and you want to have your injured leg extended on the table. You want to make sure that you have any clothing out of the way of the area that's to be treated, so your knee. So make sure you're wearing shorts, or like you have now, your pant leg is rolled up. You also want to be conscious of putting a towel underneath of your leg when you treat it, because when you do the ice massage, it's going to melt and you don't want anything to get wet. And also, while you do the ice massage, you can help reduce the amount of dripping that you have by just going up and blotting your knee. So, all right, so once you're set up, you're going to take your Dixie cup, and it's going to be filled with ice, and you're going to rip off the top layer, like the top half of the cup, and that's what you're going to use to do your massage. So you're going to then place it on your treatment area, and you're going to begin the massage. And the massage consists of small circular patterns in the area that we're going to treat, which is going to be your medial knee, your inside of your knee. And you're going to try and avoid your stitches, and you're going to try and stay in that small area, because the smaller the area that you treat, the more effective it's going to be, and the deeper the cold is going to go. So when you begin your massage, you're going to feel a progression of sensations. The first sensation you're going to feel is cool, then it's going to progress to cold, then it will be burning, and then it will be numb. And that should all happen in about 2 minutes. So don't be worried when you feel like you're burning, but it's just the natural progression of how your skin cools. So what's going to happen is you're going to do that for about 5 minutes, or until you feel completely numb and you notice that your skin is red, and that's when you should stop your treatment. All right, so now I know that was a lot of instructions to handle, so I'm going to give you 3 cue phrases that I think will be helpful for you when you're doing it at home by yourself. So the first thing to remember is small circular circles when you're doing the massage. Small circular circles. I know it's kind of a tongue twister, but it'll help you. The next one is cool, cold, burning, and then numb, because that's a progression of the sensations. And then the last one is 5 or red, which is your indications to stop when your skin gets red, or once 5 minutes is up. So now that I have given you the instructions, I want to be I want to be confident that you understand them and that you'll be able to do it at home safely. So could you please repeat them for me?
Okay, so you want me to do the ice massage in the medial area of my knee, keeping it in a small area so that the cold goes deeper. You want me to use small circular circles, and the feeling that I'm going to feel is going to be cool, cold, numb, or burning and numb. And it should last for about 5 minutes or until my skin gets red.
Okay, and then just remember, you want to be seated on the table with your leg extended and the towel underneath.
Right.
All right, so now that you understand the instructions, I'm going to show you what to do.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to take your Dixie cup full of ice. Here, can I just steal this for a second while I show you what to do? And you're going to peel off the top layer, like I said before. Okay, and then you're going to use this as your ice massage. You just hold on to where the paper is.
Okay.
And so I'm going to demonstrate on my hand for you.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to apply it, and you're just going to do small circular circles, just like this. And then I would go for about 5 minutes or until my skin turned red.
Okay.
Okay?
How red is too red?
How red is too red? Dark bright red.
Okay.
That would definitely be too long.
Okay.
If it starts feeling if you start feeling any intense pain, obviously stop then.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So now I want to be able to make sure that you can do this on your own safely, and I would like you to demonstrate for me.
So I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to go on my medial knee here. Do small circular motions.
Okay.
Pretty sure I'm already at the burning.
Okay.
And then I'll just use this to catch.
Yes.
And I do it for about 5 minutes or until it gets red.
All right. All right.
What's that?
Okay. All right. So everything looks good. It looks like you have all the instructions down correctly. As I said before, this treatment is going to help you decrease your pain and swelling as well as relax your muscles. And this will help you in your healing when we get to the more straightening and bending of your knee, when we get to go a little bit further, which will help you get back to walking and maybe sitting in the car more comfortably and even playing basketball. Can you think of any other activities this treatment might help you with?
Right now I can just see how it would help with the pain and dealing with my short-term symptoms and things like that.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, so it looks like you have everything down, and I feel confident that you can do this at home. I just printed out a version of the instructions with pictures that I just want you to take with you, so just in case you forget some things and remember the 3 cues. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think I do.
All right, then I will see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Molly, I'm Megan. I'll be your PT today.
Hi.
So today I'm going to have you try some quad sets.
Okay.
And I know you haven't done these before, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little description about why quad sets are important, how we're going to do it, because it's really important for you to understand the proper way to go about this exercise and why it's important for your daily activities, so that way we get the most benefit out of the exercise. So at this point in your recovery from surgery, your quads, which actually are your muscle right there on the front of your thigh, which are actually 4 muscles, they're really weak. And so you're having problems with your strength, and you're also having problems straightening your leg. What the quadricep strengthening does, it helps you increase that strength, obviously, for weight-bearing activities like walking. And then this exercise also helps you get that range of motion back. I know you're having problems straightening your leg right now, compared to your other leg that you didn't have surgery on. So this exercise is designed to target both strength and range of motion. Okay. So I know that's a lot of information, but do you think you can explain to me why it's important to do these quad sets, just kind of based on what I told you?
Yeah, because after my surgery, my quadricep muscle is really weak, and so I need to strengthen it, and I'm also having trouble straightening my leg, so quad sets are going to help with those.
All right. And I know I mentioned walking and other weight-bearing activities that this will help for. Can you name anything else why you would need this quad strength and straightening of your leg?
Well, like climbing stairs, or I want to get back into playing basketball, so that's going to help with those.
All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to explain the exercise. I'm not going to get up and do it right now. So basically a quad set is you just sit on a table with your legs straight out in front of you.
Mhm.
You can lay down if you like, whatever's more comfortable for you. You just need to have your legs straight out in front of you. You're gonna put something like a roll towel or a sweater underneath of your heel of your injured leg. And you're just gonna straighten your leg out in front of you. And the easiest way to remember this exercise is that you're gonna try to push the back of your knee down into the table.
Okay.
And you're just gonna hold that contraction. You're gonna hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're gonna do 3 sets of 10. So
Okay.
total you'll be doing 30 of these contractions holding for 5 seconds.
Okay.
I know that's a lot of information, but before we even get into demonstrating it, do you think you can kind of repeat those instructions?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sit on a table with my legs straight out in front of me, and I'm gonna put a towel or some roll underneath the heel of my foot, and I'm gonna push the back of my leg into the table to straighten my leg, and hold for 5 seconds and do 3 sets of 10.
Awesome. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to get up on the table and show you how to do this exercise. Okay, Molly, so this is going to be your setup. I have the rolled towel underneath of the heel of the injured leg. And I'm just going to sit there, and your knee will be kind of bent. And propping your foot up like this will allow you to see that your knee's bent, and then when you're working, you'll be able to see it straighten.
Okay.
So I'm just going to sit here comfortable. You can have the back up on the chair, whatever you like, or lying down. And you're just going to push down into the table. And if you want, you can put your hand underneath my leg here and feel, I'm actually pushing down into the table.
Okay.
And you're going to be contracting this muscle right here. So you should feel this harden and kind of swell up a little bit. And then you're going to hold for 5 seconds.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
Okay.
And then you're going to do that 10 times. And then you're going to do that 3 sets of 10. You have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, so I'm going to let you get up here and show me how you would do it.
Okay.
All right, Molly, now I'm just going to have you do this exercise as if you were at home by yourself and I'm not there, but I want you to go through the steps out loud so that just that way I can hear that you know the instructions. And I'm just going to go ahead and watch. I'm not going to give you any feedback during the exercise.
Okay.
And so I want you to do the full set of 10 holding for 5 seconds.
Okay. So first I would lay down with my feet straight in front of me, and then I would put this towel roll underneath my heel, and my knee's kind of bent up because it can't straighten that well. And then I'm gonna push the back of my knee down into the table and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then relax. And then I have to do 10 of those. So I'm gonna keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
All right.
10.
Before you get started on your other 2 sets, I just want to give you some feedback. Everything looked really well. I should mention that if you're having any extreme pain with this exercise, you can go ahead and stop. But it's not uncommon that you're going to have a little bit of pain because you are working through post-surgery, you can't bend your knee. So it is going to be a little bit painful, but it shouldn't be unbearable. Go ahead. I would recommend resting a couple minutes between the sets because you don't want to fatigue your muscle too much. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and start that 2nd set.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Keep going?
Yeah, but do you have any pain with that?
Not right now.
Any concerns, questions, anything before we get that last set done?
No, I don't think so. Does it look okay?
Everything looks good. You can track your muscle and you're holding for a full 5 seconds. You're not cheating that 5 seconds, so that's great. Whenever you're ready, get that last set done.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Awesome.
That's all.
And so I have actually printed out instructions with pictures that you need to take home with you in case you forget anything or you need to reference anything.
Okay.
But if you have any additional questions, concerns, don't hesitate to call me or email me.
Okay.
So I'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Snowpick, and I'm the physical therapist that's going to be working with you today.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you a self-done hamstring stretch.
Okay.
So since you haven't done this before, I just want to make sure that you can properly describe and explain to me that you understand the importance of the stretch and the proper technique to doing the stretch. Okay? So I want to make sure that you can follow and understand the instructions I give you. So I'm going to have you repeat them back to me, as well as perform it correctly in front of me, so that I feel comfortable that you can do it on your own.
Okay.
So I'm teaching you the stretch because you're in what's called the proliferative stage of healing, which is meaning you're around 2 weeks out from your surgery. So because of this, you're going to have some pain and resistance in your in range of motion, but we should be able to increase your overall joint range. What we don't want is for you to lose your motion due to immobility. So what this stretch is going to do is help slowly increase your range and tissue flexibility. We need to get you moving so that you don't lose the length of your hamstrings or the strength in your muscle. So the stretch is also going to produce muscle relaxation, which is going to help increase the mobility a little more. This is going to get you back to walking or doing your daily activities, and eventually we'll get you back to playing basketball. What I really want to make sure that you understand is the reasons why. So if you can go ahead and repeat back to me what I've just told you in your own words.
Yeah. Because I'm in just 2 weeks post-op, that I'm not going to have as much range of motion, so the stretch is going to help increase the range of motion so I don't lose any more immobility in my hamstrings.
Great, so now we're ready to give you the instructions. To start off, you're just going to need a stable chair like the one I provided for you. And I want you to sit near the edge, but to where you're still comfortable and not feeling like you're going to fall off. You need to feel stable. Your unaffected knee is going to be bent, so the good knee will be bent, and your bad knee will be as straight out as you can possibly get it with no pain.
Okay.
And from there, what I'm going to have you do is using your hands to stabilize right above the knee. So not over it, not on it, but just slightly above it. And I'm going to have you lean your trunk forward slightly. It might be a little painful, and what we don't want is for you to overexert yourself.
Okay.
So this is going to be a pain-guided stretch. You should feel a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. It means you're being stretched, it's good. But when it gets painful, I want you to just slack off slightly.
Okay.
But once you reach the comfortable feeling, you're just going to hold it for 10 seconds, and then let go for a second or two, and reapply for another 10 seconds, 6 times.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you try to describe to me what the instructions are?
So I'm going to scoot up to the edge of my chair, and my good knee is going to be bent, and my hurt knee is going to be as straight as I can. And then I'm just going to apply pressure to above the knee and push as I lean my trunk forward. And I'm going to do 6 times and hold for 10 seconds.
Yes, and this is great. You can do it at any point during your day. I do want you to do it at least several times a day.
Okay.
A good way to set yourself is to, when you're watching TV during the commercials, you can do it during the commercials, or each time you get a text, you can do it once.
Okay.
So I'm going to demonstrate to you so you know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have you sitting at the edge of your chair with your good knee bent, your bad knee straight out. Pressure above the knee, but not on it, and then just leaning your trunk forward. This is going to provide you the stretch in the hamstrings.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds. and go right back on, 6 times. So if I can have you go ahead and perform the set of 6 for me.
Sure. So I'm going to scoot up to the edge of my seat and good leg bent, bad leg straight as I can. And I'm going to push at the top, above the knee, not on it, and then I'm going to lean my trunk forward.
Do you feel the stretch?
Mm-hmm. And then I hold for 10 seconds. 7, 8, 9, 10. And I relax, and then I do that 6 times, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the last one.
Good. So just remember, you don't want to have any pain. If you have pain, you need to bring it off a little bit. So as I said before, though, the stretch is going to help relax your muscle and increase the range of motion.
Okay.
So the one thing this is going to help do is get you back to walking. And can you think of anything else it might help with?
Well, I want to go back to playing basketball, so maybe if I stretch this and get more range of motion, it'll help with basketball.
So I feel pretty confident that you can do this on your own. I have a printout for you that I can get you at the desk. It's going to help you just in case you forget the slight nuances that it has.
Yeah.
So I'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Molly. I'm going to be working with you as your physical therapist today.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to teach you how to perform a short arc quadricep exercise on your injured leg. So since you have never done this exercise before, I'm going to need to make sure that you can describe how to perform it correctly, and I'm going to watch you perform it before I let you do it on your own at home. Does that sound okay? All right, I want to make sure that you can follow my instructions that I give to you. I also need to make sure that you can retell them to me in your own words. So I'm going to show you how to set up the exercise and how many times to do the exercise. You'll also need to be able to understand the reasons that I'm telling you to do the exercise at home. So we'll go through all that. I'm going to teach you how to perform the short arc quadricep exercise. After I instruct you how to perform the exercise, I'm going to need you to demonstrate it for me. Does that sound okay? Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to perform this exercise because you're just 2 weeks post-surgery. So your quadricep muscle, which is this muscle right on top of your leg right here, is really weak and you have decreased range of motion. So this exercise is going to help increase your range of motion and help increase the strength of that quadricep muscle. These exercises will help you get back into walking and running and doing other activities. Can you think of any other activities that this exercise would help?
I mean, if it's helping with my quads and all that, I'm thinking that it'll help with like just jumping or getting out of my car and getting up and down.
Definitely. Okay, now I want to make sure you understand all the reasons that I just told you to why you should do the exercise. So can you explain that to me in your own words?
Yes. Okay, so it's a short arc quadriceps exercise. So it's going to be working out my quadriceps. Because I'm so recent after my surgery, it's weak up here and it'll help strengthen that. And then it's also going to help me with my range of motion.
Perfect. Yeah, you understand. Okay, so in your first evaluation, we checked all your medical history and all that, and we measured your range of motion, so we have a good base measurement. So we're going to just try to improve on that in this session. So now we're ready for instructions. When you're going to do this, I want you to make sure you're sitting comfortably, like on a bed or on the floor even is fine, with your injured leg laying out straight in front of you. I want to make sure you can see your knee working, so if you could have like shorts on, that would be perfect like you do now. You also want to put like a bolster or pillow right underneath your knee. And what you're going to do, your heel is going to be on the floor, and you're just going to try to straighten your leg over top of that bolster. Once you're set up, you're going to contract your quadriceps and lift that heel off the table. Try to straighten your leg as much as you can, and then slowly you're going to just lower your heel back down to the floor. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to hold the leg straight for 5 seconds and repeat this progression three sets 5 times each. Okay, it's important that you stop this exercise if you have any pain that's unbearable. You also need to perform this 2 times a day, so I suggest maybe in the morning before you get up out of bed or leave the house, and then at night. So I have a few cues to help you remember the steps. The first cue is you're going to contract and lift, and then the second cue is hold it for 5 seconds, and then the third cue is relax and lower. Does that make sense? Okay. I want to make sure you understood everything, so will you please describe me the exercise I just explained to you?
You want my bad knee straight out on a bed or on the floor with a pillow underneath. And then I'm going to have my heel touching the floor. And the exercise is contracting my quadriceps and lifting my heel up until my knee is straight.
Yes.
And then I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds.
And how many times are you going to do it?
3 times with sets of 5.
Yes. Perfect. So now that you understand the instructions perfectly, I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm just going to hop over here. Okay, so I have this all set up. So you're going to put a pillow. I just used a regular pillow and fold it in half and place it under my knee. And you're just going to let your foot hang, and your knee should be higher than your foot. So what you're going to do, you're just going to contract your quadriceps. So contract and lift your heel off, and then hold for 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to relax this muscle and lower your heel slowly back down to the floor. Okay, and you're going to do that for 3 sets of 5. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now that you've seen it done and you've explained it to me, I'm going to ask you to do it for me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now that you know what I want you to do, I'm going to ask you to perform all 3 sets of 5 for me, holding for the 5 seconds. So, and I'll ask you to set it up. Just pretend like you're at home and I'm not here, and then I'll provide feedback at the end.
Okay. So I have my pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fold it and place it underneath my knee.
Yes.
And my knee should be higher than my leg, or than my foot. My cues are contract and lift, hold for 5, 3, 4, 5, relax slowly and lower.
And then I'm going to ask you to do 4 more of those to complete the first set.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good.
Yeah.
You're good. And then we have 2 more sets of those, so 10 altogether, but I think that every 5, it's good to take a break and just relax for a few seconds. So just whenever you're ready to do the next step, we'll go. Good. 1 more set. Whenever you're ready, you can take a little break. Okay, before we start this last set, I just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback. You're doing great. I just want to make sure that you have no pain with this exercise. Is that okay? Is it going okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I want to make sure you're lowering your heel back down slowly. So we'll try that this time.
Okay.
So 5 more, and then we'll be done. Very good. Okay, now as I said before, this is going to help strengthen that quadricep, as you can see that it's working. And it's going to increase the range of motion of your knee. Since you're only 2 weeks post-surgery, you have a little decreased range of motion, so we're going to help work on that. I also have a printout of all the instructions available for you right here. So here's a picture with all the instructions I just gave you, and you can take that home with you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, well, it's great working with you. We'll see you next time.
Okay, good.
Hi, I'm Megan Stanley. I'm going to be your physical therapist today. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So today I'm going to be working with you, teaching you how to perform a terminal knee extension exercise. Since you've never done a terminal knee extension exercise before, I'm going to need to make sure that you can describe how to correctly complete the exercise and watch you perform it correctly so that I feel comfortable having you do it at home by yourself. I want to make sure you can follow and understand the instructions I give you. I also want to make sure that you can tell me in your own words the movements that you should move through during this exercise, as well as how to set up the exercise and when to stop the exercise. You also need to be able to understand the reasons for doing a terminal knee extension and be able to repeat them back to me. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Good. In addition, after we go through all this, I'm going to have you demonstrate it to see how you go through the exercise to make sure I can give you feedback before we do it at home. So I'm going to teach you how to do a terminal knee extension on your injured knee. And after I instruct you how to do this exercise, I'm going to have you demonstrate it so that we can look through the procedure and make sure you're doing it correctly and to the level of my satisfaction. I'm going to teach you how to do a terminal knee extension because you're 2 weeks post-op surgery and you're still having some residual swelling in your injured knee. You also have some decreased range of motion and are having trouble getting your knee straight. In addition to your range of motion deficit, you are also experiencing some quadricep weakness. So by doing this exercise, we're really going to try to get those quadriceps, which are the muscles right here, firing so that you can help get your knees back and straightened. Based on your manual muscle test, that's what we kind of did before to try to figure this out. We realized that you were around a grade 2, so we're going to try to work on that quadricep strength. This will help you get back to walking faster and eventually playing faster. Now that I've kind of told you why we're doing this exercise, I would like you to repeat back to me why it's important, why we're doing it, and why you should be doing it at home.
Okay. It's a total knee extension, and the reason I need to do this is because there's still like swelling and I can't straighten my knee out all the way.
Right.
And this is going to help strengthen my quadriceps to help me walk and do everything I need to do.
Great. So in your evaluation, we tested your knee flexion and extension range of motion, and it was decreased from normal, like I said before. And then we also tested your quadricep strength, and this was also lower than normal, so we're going to try to improve on that, and we'll go ahead and go through some of the instructions for the test. We're going to be doing this exercise with a TheraBand, and it's just one of these bands. It's used for a lot of different exercises in physical therapy. And we're going to start with a lighter resistance, and then we're going to progress up to a more difficult resistance once you move along through the therapy sessions a little bit more. But to complete this at home, you're going to find a bed or a table that can provide some support for you, and you're going to wrap this around the foot. So you're just going to tie it in a knot just around the foot of the furniture. Once you're completed with that, you're going to place your leg through the TheraBand, so just through this hole. And you're going to move the TheraBand up to the level, like right behind your knee. It might be a little uncomfortable just because of the texture of the TheraBand, so you can definitely put a towel or a pillowcase or anything in between your leg and the band, just so the friction is decreased a little bit. But I'm going to have you stand upright, and you're going to use the tabletop or the bed frame, whatever you choose to use, as some support for your upper body. You're going to keep a controlled posture. So once you have this around the table or the bed frame, you're going to back away from the bed or table to let the tension in the TheraBand get a little tight. And you're just going to allow your knee to naturally bend with that tension, because that's how we're going to start the exercise. So keeping yourself propped up and holding on to things so that you don't fall, you're going to take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to work on contracting your quadriceps and extending that knee, straightening it back against the resistance of the band. You're going to hold that for 3 to 5 seconds, kind of depending on how you feel, and then you're going to come back to the starting bent position very slowly and controlled. I want you to try to do 7 to 10 repetitions of this, making sure the movements are produced in a quality manner and very controlled. Once you complete this, make sure you stop and rest for a few minutes before you complete another set of 7 to 10. During the exercise, you shouldn't feel any sharp or agonizing pain. However, there might be a dull, uncomfortable kind of working your muscle pain just because you are so close to having surgery or you're so close to post-op. Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand all the instructions clearly. So will you please describe them back to me for the instructions for the terminal knee extension?
Yes, so I'm going to have a TheraBand. I'm going to tie it and like a loop and put one in around a bed or a table or anything stable. And the other one's going to go around the back of my knee. Then I will be taking a couple steps back until it just naturally bends my knee in. And from there, I'm going to contract my quadriceps and straighten it to a total knee extension.
Great. And how many sets and reps are you going to do? If you don't remember, it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to have you do 7 to 10 repetitions, just depending on how you feel and your pain level, because this is a little bit more of an advanced activity. And then we're going to try to do 3 sets if we can, but we're going to play it by ear and see.
And I'm holding them each
for 2 to 5 seconds, really not that long, just kind of keeping the movement control the whole time. Okay. And should you be feeling pain with that?
No.
Right. Okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
I don't think so.
Great. Okay, so now I'm going to actually show you how to do it. It'll help being able to see it versus hearing it, and then hopefully you'll be able to learn the exercise better.
Yes, good.
Okay, so I just kind of brought a table in here to show you. Ideally, I would want something that's a little bit taller so you have a little more support, but for today's purposes, we can just use this. So like I said, you're going to take your TheraBand and you're just going to make a knot into a pretty large loop. Just make sure you double knot it or tie it twice. So then what I'm going to have you do is make sure you use the support, and you're going to put your injured leg through. I'm going to have you raise this to the level behind your knee. I'm wearing pants, so I don't need to put a towel or anything behind, but we might want to do it since we're wearing shorts. And you're going to step back. See how my knee is already bending a little bit with the tension of the band? So this is a good starting place. You're going to hold here, have a good posture. You're going to inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to use the quadriceps and pull back on that knee. Hold for a few seconds, and then slowly come back to your starting position. And we're going to do that for 7 to 10 repetitions for 3 sets. So once again, just pulling back, and then coming back forward. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So next, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you show me how to do it like you were at home. So I'm going to take everything apart, have you do that, and then I'll give you some feedback to see how you do. Okay, so now I'm going to have you demonstrate the exercise for me like you're at home. I'm not going to give you any feedback yet. We're just going to do the first set of around 7 to 10. We'll try 7 the first time, and then I'll give you some feedback afterwards. And I have this little towel for you if you want to put it behind your knee when you set it up. And then if you could just tell me out loud what you're doing while you're doing it.
Okay. So I have the TheraBand, and I'm going to put it around the post. I'm going to tie it into the knot. I'm going to make sure to like double knot it or keep it steady. And I'm going to put my leg in. And then have it up to my knee. I have the towel here to get comfortable. Then I'm going to take a couple steps back until it bends my knee to here. It's probably good. Then I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to straighten my knee.
Right. So we'll have you go ahead and just do 7 sets like that, holding for a few seconds, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Good. Is that 7? I think you have one more. Great. So those looked really good. How did they feel?
Good.
Good. The only thing that I have feedback-wise for you is I just want to make sure you have some support. Like I said, this table's a little off to be able to do it, but even if you had maybe like the cane that you were using right after surgery, you could hold it to your side to give you a little bit more support, just to make sure your balance is okay, and I don't want you to get tripped up in the band. But other than that, it looked really good, so let's go ahead and have you do another set of 7. And you can hold for about 3 seconds. You don't need to hold as long. But we'll go through that and see how that goes. Great. How did that feel?
Good.
Good. Go. So after that second set, or after every set, you're going to want to take a break. So we'll just do that right now. And I just want to explain what you're going to do at home. So I want you to try to do this 2 times a day if you can, along with the other exercises that the therapists have showed you. And so it's pretty convenient if you can just leave that tied somewhere and just kind of go back to it so you don't have to keep bending down and setting it up over and over again. But if you're ready, we can go ahead and start that 3rd set. Good. That looked really good. I was trying to look at your knee, and looks like you've already gained a little bit of range of motion since we started, so that's really good. So like I said before, the treatment will increase your range of motion and hopefully work on that quadriceps strength. And we're going to try to use this. It's going to be very functional for bending and straightening your knee, things like getting up and sitting down, walking up and down stairs, even getting back to playing basketball. Can you think of any other activities that this might help with?
Maybe like getting in and out of my car or up and down from seats.
Yep, that's great. Do you have any questions for me about the exercise?
I don't think so.
I'll go ahead and let you get out of that really quick. And I have made you a handout, just kind of describing some of the key points we talked about along with some pictures that go along with it, just in case. I know that was a lot of information, so you can take this home and review it when you're going to do your exercises again. There you are, and it was great meeting you.